research collaborations with weapon investors and manufacturers, like with projects like construction of a new military airjet for the U.S. Air Force that is designed by a professor at UCI. So these are just some examples of how we want the university to invest their funds in companies and institutions complicit in genocide. And then our second demand is disclosure. So where they provide full transparency to all UCI Foundation assets, including investments, donations, and grants. Where they also immediately disclose information about how our campus has spent the millions of dollars allocated to address Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. In November 2023, the UC system and the UC regions got millions of dollars in November to discuss anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, and the university never told us or gave us anything about that information for UCOP, because this is the UCOP funding. They just sent an email the other day because they were going to send it at the end of the week, and like, where was all of this? And then they sent it earlier. And then immediate fiscal transparency and the usage of funds with regards to all schools and school personnel receiving funding from the Israel Institute, ADL. This goes in terms of one of the professors here at UCI, named Jeffrey Kopstein, who gets like $300,000, $500,000, and more dollars like every single year and every few years from the Anti-Defamation League, the Israel Institute, and all these things to conduct research on anti-Semitism in UCI, when we know it's just to do research on Zionism and continue the stronghold of like Israel in our institution. Then our third demand was delinking. So this is more so for an academic boycott where we end all UCI Israeli programs and all collaborations with Israeli organizations and individuals, such as the Confronting Violent Extremism program, so CVE, which was kind of grown out of the War on Terror, that shamelessly regurgitates the U.S.'s Countering Violent Extremism program, that does a lot of surveillance, spying, data gathering, and facial recognition of individuals here in the United States to count as who is like a terrorist or not. UCI receives a lot of funding and a lot of grants for CVE, and so we are asking them to delink and to no longer be getting funding from that. And then also ending immediately termination of all ADL partnerships and all like Tel Aviv exchange programs, university exchange programs, and things of the like. We're also asking for reinvestment, that UCI divest from all companies and institutions complicit in the Israeli occupation, and that money that we are divesting from is reinvested in an adequate Palestinian studies program, immediate financial subsidies for Palestinian students, and to invest more in programs that support students on campuses who are food insecure, in a financial and housing crisis, for parents, and for emergency funds for students to access, because there's no reason why we should be paying like $24 of parking per day for visitors when the university has enough money to make all of the parking free for us. We're also asking amnesty for the university to provide amnesty for all student and community protesters and to end student repression, that the university revoke all current and future suspensions and other academic disciplinary actions against student protesters and organizations. So amnesty for everyone here in case they try to do anything against us. And then abolishing policing and defunding the UCI PD because they provide them they give them thousands upon thousands of dollars to buy new technology, new weapons to use, and a lot of the time they just sit there because like no reason to use them. But yeah, and then they're using this to suppress student voices and bring them accountable for harming students. So these are the demands that we have been presenting, and to also call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire. And we have been calling for these demands. And today, when we met with them, we fixed their proposal. Or let me talk about the proposal that they provided us. Sorry, I'm going to be talking a lot, but this is important information. Are you guys? Okay, so I'm just going to read the draft agreement just so we can see it, but this is what they proposed, and they wanted us to agree to. The University of California, Irvine University of California, Irvine, and UCI Gaza Solidarity agree that the Solidarity Encampment on campus has ended. All students and community members will peacefully remove tents, personal materials, and barriers by 5 p.m. May 1st, 2024. While the UCI Gaza Solidarity Group cannot speak for every community member of the University of California, UCI Gaza Solidarity has agreed it will not resume any encampment activity, nor will any leaders of the Solidarity Group participate in any conduct related to any encampment activity or any unauthorized protest activity this academic year, including during commencement. Provided that the above conditions are met and continue to be met. The UCI Foundation commits to inviting and meeting with 3 students of the UCI Gaza Solidarity Group. The representatives of the foundation will take place no later than May 31st, 2024, and that this meeting will serve as a forum for education and discussion of the UCI Foundation's investment. This meeting serves to address demands 1 and 2 as represented in UCI Gaza Solidarity communicated on April 29th. They said that simple demand of simply talking and sitting with people would address demands 1 and 2 of divestment and disclosure. But we know that's not the case. Then they said committing to meet with 3 students. I'm just going to keep skimming. But forum to discuss the funding for campus programming, food insecurity, and housing insecurity as described in demand 4. Which was asking about reinvestment. They never mentioned anything about an academic boycott and seizing any of their programs that work with the Anti-Defamation League, challenging violent extremism, working with the study abroad programs, and then saying they allowed for amnesty in this one, so that was good. And then this agreement recognizes the incidents of bias, harassment, and discrimination will continue to be responded to by appropriate offices of the OEOD, which the OEOD, after students were harassed by ASAF Berber, took years upon years to actually respond to anything and never gave us anything back about how the university will actually address how a professor was yelling and harassing students on campus during campus hours as well. And providing supportive measures to impacted parties, resolution of concerns, and then saying this agreement does not pertain to misconduct after this agreement, nor shall it review any resolution. And then they were saying that once we agree that the university and Howard Gilman would issue a campus message and media statement from the chancellor at or around 3 p.m. on May 1st, and then that we commit to peacefully ending the encampment by 5 p.m. of yesterday. And so this is the proposal they gave us. That was very long, but obviously we didn't agree for this. We met with them and we said that this did not meet any of our demands at all, and it didn't even touch the basic surface level of our demands. And so then today, we met with them again and we proposed our own draft agreement of what we wanted. We were saying the University of California, Irvine, and UC, this is a draft proposal, and the UC Intifada Liberated Zone with the UCI Divest Coalition agree that the Solidarity Encampment on campus has ended. All students and community members will peacefully remove tents, personal materials, and barriers. This is like a very draft. This isn't like actually happening. Just letting you know that. By May 3rd, 2024 by 5 p.m., provided the above conditions are met and continue to be met, in which the university actually carries out the demands of divestment that I read earlier in every single point that was on there, disclosure, delinking, and correcting the narrative. And so we put this all in the draft that we proposed, and we actually thought that the university would just be like, oh no, we're not going to accept any of this. But we have to tell them that we will not leave until every single one of our demands are met, that we will continue to be staying here. And the second day we met with them yesterday as well, they were giving us threats like, it's either end the encampment or we have no choice. Saying they now have no choice to hurt the community and to hurt the encampment and to hurt the people here. And we were telling them today that this is very urgent, that this is not something that we can wait for and we can have meeting after meeting for, so that we can discuss when we can divest and when we can disclose and when we can stop our programming with the Zionist institutions and Zionist regime, that it needs to happen now because our Palestinian people, we cannot wait. We cannot wait for liberation, and we have to demand liberation from now and believe that liberation will happen every single second. And they kept talking back about UCLA, saying, you don't know, we need to bring cops, to protect the university, to protect the students from counter-protesters, is what they would say yesterday. But we saw at UCLA how terribly brutal the LAPD was on the students who were harassed by counter-protesters the other night in masses where people were stabbed, they were spat at, their scarves were pulled off, they were literally hospitalized by counter-protesters, and police just stood there and watched, and the university just stood there and watched as their own students, they couldn't protect their own students, when they were simply asking them to end the genocide and to stop funding genocide. And yesterday, we saw the police department attack the students as well, and UCLA has yet to meet any of the demands. And we're seeing that UCI has threatened us to do the same yesterday before when we met with them. And we are telling them that we are not going to accept that we will continue to stand up for Palestine, and we will continue to be here. And I want you all to know that from today, these negotiations were on the table. They were talking about how they can get us these resources. They were actually kind of nervous that we provided them so much and so many specificities, because they're like, oh, I don't know if we can demand that we can get all of this and that we can get it, like, that we can actually achieve all this, but they can. They're a university. They're here to serve the students. They're here to serve us. And they're not here to support capital. They're supposed to support the students themselves, because we are the ones who make up the university, the students, the faculty, and the staff. And we know that we're going to continue showing up, and we're going to continue being here every single day until our demands are met. And we won't stop, we won't give up, we will not rest, because the ultimate goal is liberation. The ultimate goal is seeing Palestine free, and understanding that with our collective efforts, and with the collective efforts of the masses and the community, that we will see a liberated Palestine.
Inshallah!
The students united will never be defeated!
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 Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest!
Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest!
Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest!
Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest!
You can't hide!
You can't hide!
We charge you with genocide!
We charge you with genocide!
You can't hide!
You can't hide!
We charge you with genocide!
We charge you with genocide!
You see, Irvine, you can't hide!
You see, Irvine, you can't hide!
You are funding genocide!
You are funding genocide!
You see, PD, KKK! UCPD, KKK, IOF, they're all the same!
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 Students united will never be defeated!
The students united will never be defeated!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Thank you, guys. We are having art bills and we'll be having educational sessions, and we're going to be out here until every single one of our demands are met. Thank you.